I recently got to sit down with a friend of mine, multi-instrumentalist and composer Neelamjit Dhillon, and ask about one of my all-time favorite instruments, tabla.
Tabla has got to be one of the most intricate percussion instruments in the world. What makes it so special?
I think it's that, the rhythmic vocabulary is very developed. Because in Indian music, we just had rhythm and we had melody. There's no harmony. So we really delve deep into the rhythmic complexity and how things can work together. And the other thing is the sounds that you can get out of the tabla are just kind of amazing. Can
you show me what you mean by the vocabulary of Indian music?
Sure. So every sound on the drum has a separate name. This sound is called na. Na na na. Na 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 na. Other sounds like tun. Open sound of the drum. Tun tun. Then you can combine those. Tun ta. Tun tun ta. Tun ta ta tun ta tun tun ta. So closed sounds come in. Sounds that involve the other hand. So we have a closed sound called ke, and we have an open sound called ge. And however you say that, that's how you have to play it. So if I say ge, 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 I can change the pitch by applying pressure on my palm. Ge, 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 ge. Or even sliding sounds. Ge, ge, ge. So we can incorporate that now into how we play. Da. So sounds involving both hands. Da da tit. Da da tinna. Da da tidikit. Da da kitakatikit. Da ti da gina, da ti da tinna kina da. Da ti da tinna kina da. Da ti da tinna kina da. So even the palm of the hand. So these are fixed compositions that have been composed and then handed down.
Dhin, Kran, Ghan, Titikat, Katitata, Takatakitata, Takatakatakatita, Tirikitata, Kidinak Tirikitata, Gintrikita, Gintrikita, Gigatin. Titikata, Gatikan, Takata, Takata, Takata. We're going to do it.
You talk about changing pitch, and it's really clear, I think, as a Western listener, what you're doing with your left hand. But with your right hand, you're also changing the harmonics, right?
The sounds themselves are constructions of either sounds that are a harmonic or are not a harmonic. So this open sound, that's just the open sound of the drum. And then this third finger comes and mutes in this very specific spot. And then when I play this sound, now that is a harmonic.
Can you talk about how these different sounds and the language of the sounds fits into a rhythmic cycle?
Both North and South Indian music traditions, they follow rhythmic cycles to fit melodies on top of. And these cycles can range anywhere from, as Ravi Shankar has said, 3 beats to 108 beat cycles.
Wait, just to clarify one second, when you say 108 beat cycle, you mean what we would consider like a measure would have 108 beats in it. You're on a measure and you're on beat 65, and you know that you're going to beat 66, and you got to keep track for 108 beats.
Right. It would be 108.4 would be your time signature.
Okay, just checking.
But the most common one used in North Indian classical music is called teen tal, and it has 16 beats. So teen tal, the name, teen is 3 in Hindi, and tal is the name of the cycle. Also, it refers to tali, which is a clap. So in teen tal, there are 3 claps to give us these 16 beats. So we have 1 clap, and then the second clap, then there's a wave, there's no clap, and then the third clap comes. So those 16 beats would be arranged with a clapping pattern that goes like this. And each of those would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
And when you say the wave, it almost looks like you're showing a rest, but that's not what you're doing.
I'm showing the middle part of this particular rhythmic cycle. And anytime that there's a wave in a rhythmic cycle, it denotes a change in the sound that you'll be hearing. So in this case, actually, all the bass tones are removed, and we're just left with treble sounds.
For the entire second part of the cycle?
Exactly.
Oh.
So if you listen to the sounds, every sound with a bass tone has a D, and all the sounds with treble tones have T's. So it's da din din da da din din da da tin tin da da din din da da din din da da din din da da tin tin da da din din da. And with a little bit more ornamentation.
You're a multi-instrumentalist and composer, and you're doing concerts all around the world and all these things. But a few years ago, you had 15 minutes of fame for a non-musical reason. Can we talk about Chili's?
We can talk about Chili's. More importantly, we can talk about the certain area of Orlando, Florida that I was in. So I was over there working on a show for Disney at Disney's Animal Kingdom. And the show had opened. It's a massive show. We're doing 2 shows a night for 5,000 people each. So the show had been running already for a couple months. And we were gearing up to go to the White House to play for Michelle Obama at the Kids' State Dinner, because Disney does the entertainment for that event. So there we are. I'm meeting, before we're going to tonight's performance, I'm meeting with another musician, and we're discussing logistics of how can we take musicians to the White House to perform this, and how many people are left behind? Can we handle the staffing and all of these things? And while we're eating, we're having this meeting, all of a sudden a police officer comes in the door. And the officer looked at me and he was like, actually, could we have a conversation at your table? I said, sure, okay, why not? So he sat down and he said that someone from the restaurant had called and said there was a suspicious looking individual in the restaurant that had some sort of tube that they thought looked suspicious. Florida's so hot that I was playing bamboo flute in this show, so the tube that I had was a plastic tube that you would carry architectural plans or posters in, and I had my flutes in there to protect them. But leaving them in the car in the Florida heat, they would get damaged, so I brought them into the restaurant. Thankfully, everything worked out. The cop was very nice, and he had actually seen the show that we're in.
Did he recognize you?
No, he might have been sitting on the other side, but he said, oh yeah, me and my daughter came to see that show. Yeah, very good.
It's kind of a funny segue, but what I want to ask you is, for you, is music a way that you've broken barriers or see barriers break down?
Definitely. I think music is a place where people can meet and they can enjoy an experience, and it doesn't matter of all the other things that strive to break us apart. and keep us apart as human beings and individuals. Our music is something that